What's up, everyone, and welcome to the first Q&A of the new year.
Yay! We survived.
For our first question,
Off to a great start.
Red Alert 33 asks if we should be worried about Rogue Squadron after Wonder Woman 84.
No, I don't think so.
No.
We watched Wonder Woman 84, and at the end, we didn't really like it.
I didn't hate it, but yeah, I mean, I liked the first one better. I didn't really feel the need to go off onto the internet and onto Twitter and yell about the new Wonder Woman, but yeah, it just, I don't know, something about it didn't work for me, and that's fine.
We had that conversation, though. We finished the movie, and we were like, didn't love that. Oh well, let's move on.
Doesn't matter for us.
Yeah, it's not Star Wars. But I was expecting this question, and I also do want to talk about it because this reminds me so much of Iron Man 2. I love
Iron Man 2.
I love the first Iron Man movie. I was really excited about the sequel. Didn't like the sequel. But Jon Favreau continues to be in the film industry, and look at where we are now. I love The Mandalorian.
What happens in Iron Man 2?
Exactly. It's so not memorable. Like, it's, and I think the movie Chef, Jon Favreau's Chef, which is a great movie, is about Iron Man 2 and his experience working on it. But we can talk about that later.
It's not about food?
It's about, like, him being forced to, like, make the same thing over and over again. When he wants to be an artist. And
gotcha.
Anyway.
It's a metaphor.
Right. So my point is, just because someone puts out a movie that you didn't love, it doesn't mean that their next movie is automatically going to be bad. People want to just, like, immediately jump on someone and be like, you made a bad movie, in your opinion, and, like, now you're just done. There's no hope for the future. And that's not true.
Yeah, and it's, like, first of all, Patty Jenkins has made a lot of great things, and we don't know anything about Rogue Squadron, what it's going to be about, when it's going to take place, but it has nothing to do with Wonder Woman. So if you didn't like Wonder Woman, why are we jumping to the conclusion that she's a bad director?
Right, because the first Wonder Woman is great.
Yeah.
I really like the first Wonder Woman.
It's like top tier DC EU for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the only one that I like personally. I don't want to like get a bunch of Snyder fans mad at me. It's just my take. Yeah. But it just reminds me so much of, God, I loved Iron Man. Iron Man 2, I didn't really like that. But The Mandalorian is amazing. So it's just the same to me where, yeah, we have, instead of Marvel, it's DC. Great first movie, lackluster sequel. But she's going to make something in Star Wars, and knowing how personal it is to her, I'm still so excited about it. Yeah. And I'll just look at, I know that she can make a great movie because she has already. She's made multiple. Just because one didn't live up to what I was hoping it would be, I'm like, it's fine.
Tyler Axelrod wants to know if Moff Gideon could become a Hannibal Lecter type character for season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Really dig this idea. So not like in the I'm a cannibal kind of way.
Yeah.
But you know how Clarice in Silence of the Lambs like goes and visits him and is getting information from him, but he, plays mind games and stuff.
Manipulative.
Yeah. A villain through the glass. Even though he is imprisoned, he's still dangerous.
Maybe. I feel like they kind of started to go in that direction once he was captured in the last episode, but showed that, no, we're not going to put up with your crap, and Kara even, like, keeps him from killing himself.
Yeah. I mean, but he has information. He knows everything, according to him. Like, I think he would be able to play some good mind games with them. And just because they stopped him from killing himself doesn't mean that he's not going to manipulate them anymore. Especially, like, he was already manipulating Bo-Katan, and I didn't get a vibe from her of, like, I'm not going to put up with your crap. Like, she agrees. She knows that he's right.
Yeah. I don't know that I see them keeping him around so that he can manipulate them and bother them.
It will. I kind of agree with you there. I don't think they're going to lock him up on the Arquitans. I think he might be this character in like Rangers of the New Republic. I don't know why they would keep him on the cruiser to do exactly that. Be like, gosh, you're annoying. Get out of here. Go to the New Republic and annoy them.
It'd be interesting for like one episode, maybe, if he were to kind of like that episode of Buffy where Spike manipulates everyone to hate everyone else.
Yeah.
And then in the end, they're like, oh, this is Spike doing this, not us.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a great idea and a great use of him. And also to go back to Silence of the Lambs, it's Anthony Hopkins is not in that movie very much, but he's still very effective in the role. And Gideon has not been in the series a whole lot. So it would be a great use of his limited screen time, I think, to just mess with the other characters.
Lorenz Markov asks how we think the Disney Plus connected series will work for more casual Star Wars fans.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And that's why I think the only thing I feel confident in saying is that we're not going to get them rolling out at the same time.
Yeah.
Some people have been like, are we going to go like an episode of Book of Boba Fett and then The Mandalorian and then Book of Boba Fett? And then like, no, I think that would be way too confusing for someone like my parents.
Yeah. But I mean, they've already started to kind of do this with The Mandalorian. They've introduced these characters that already exist elsewhere in the hopes that, hey, if you're interested in this person, they're in this other show. Go check that out.
Right.
And I think they'll just continue to do that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how far they go with the interconnectivity. Like when you start Rangers of the New Republic, is there going to be kind of a getting to know you period for if Cara Dune is in it? Is this still going to feel like an entry point? Or is this going to be like, you better have watched The Mandalorian and we're just going to assume that you have? I think they would be fine to do that just because it seems like it has a huge audience.
Yeah, I think the stories will make sense either way. Like, it won't matter that much if you have seen The Mandalorian or not, but it will make it a better watch.
Yes,
just
sure.
Like if you know the history of the Darksaber, it's new for people who are new to The Mandalorian, but for people who know what the Darksaber is, they're like, oh my gosh, it's the Darksaber.
I can see Ahsoka and Boba Fett being very much on their own. It's Rangers of the New Republic where I'm like, this is the one that we just don't know that much about. I'm more interested to see how they handle it. But yeah, I think that they're mostly going to stand alone and you'll be fine to be like a first time, I haven't watched any Star Wars shows and I'm just going to check out this Ahsoka thing. I think you'll be fine. They'll probably definitely make these series with that level of fan in mind.
Probably, definitely. Vax Steel wants to know if Night Sister magic is more powerful than the Jedi or Sith's interpretations of the Force.
And they provided some good examples where I'm like, you're not wrong. Of like, they straight up reanimate the dead. They cloak an entire ship. And not like cloak it, they make it invisible. So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, the Night Sister magic is supposed to be of the dark side of the Force. Is it stronger than the Sith? I don't know. I mean, it may be because Palpatine was very interested in it. Mm-hmm. That would make sense if he's trying to like learn as much knowledge as he can.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say whether or not something is stronger than the good or bad side of the Force because the Force is everything.
Right.
And the Night Sister magic is just a part of that. Now, what we've seen the Night Sister magic do is definitely more impressive than what we've really seen the Sith do or the Jedi, in my opinion.
It's pretty up there.
As far as like being able to change something so dramatically.
To alter reality in this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's things like that have happened in the past that we just don't know about yet, or,
Yeah, I mean, whenever we start talking about like power levels in the Force, I'm like, I find it hard to argue that stuff, but I'm also like, when you provide those examples, like, you're right. They have done some very impressive things. I think that, like Yoda says, the dark side isn't stronger than the light side, but it is like this quicker path to more impressive abilities, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Yoda can do the little hand thingy.
The magic hand thing, as we all know it's called.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, he can absorb
Right.
force lightning. Who knows what else he could do? He's just not going about showing all that stuff.
He's just not a show-off.
Yeah, he's not going to show all that stuff off. But, like, if he needs to do something crazy like that, he can. And we didn't know he could do that until we saw him do it in the movies. So there's probably stuff that's equally as impressive as what the Night Sisters can do. But we just haven't witnessed it yet. I mean, we just witnessed force healing.
I mean, I agree with you that, yeah, every movie tends to introduce something new about the Force. And I don't think that necessarily when they were introducing the Night Sisters in the Clone Wars and all of their magic, I don't think they were trying to be like, this is the most powerful aspect of the Force. No, it was like they wanted to have zombies running around, and so they did that. And it was more just about the storytelling and not like, what does this mean for the Force, though?
Yeah. I mean, look at the Mortis arc. Those are literal Force gods. They're way more powerful than the Night Sisters.
Yes, I would consider them to be more powerful than the Night Sisters, yeah.
But they have an interesting story as to why they need to be controlled, contained, why they're not just walking around on I was going to say on Earth, but
in the actual galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think that what you said is the correct answer, is that no, Night Sister magic isn't the strongest interpretation of the Force. We just haven't seen everything the Force can do yet.
The best is yet to come. Bobby Lynn asks what plans we have for the media dry spell in 2021.
Yeah, so we don't know how long of a wait in between The Mandalorian or now and The Bad Batch we have. I don't think the dry spell is going to be too long. I'm not too worried about it, and obviously we have The High Republic kicking off in a couple of days, which you should absolutely read. It's wonderful. Light of the Jedi is one of the best Star Wars books I've ever read. But yeah, things are definitely going to slow down about to where they were last year.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is it the end of May. I think the new Lego game is coming out.
I think they just said spring sometime.
Yeah.
We don't have the official date on that, so.
But speaking of video games,
yeah,
we both have Twitch channels, and we have messed around with that a little bit and have some big plans.
Yeah.
For 2021.
We kind of fell away from it because of The Mandalorian, and that just ate up all of our time. But we are thinking of hopping on Twitch more often, and not just for video games. We've been really enjoying doing our Lego live streams on this channel. So we have some other non-Star Wars Lego sets to build, and I think we might do something like we did for The Mandalorian, but for like the MCU shows that are about to come out, because I like the MCU. Yeah, I don't know as much about it, but
it's all that stuff is like, we're going to be watching that stuff, and we might as well talk about it.
Yeah, so we have an idea. The working title for now is Explain It To Me, because we don't know that much about the MCU, and we have friends who do, so we'll probably have guests that are smarter than we are in that area. But that's one of the ideas we're throwing around. I think we'll do some more non-Star Wars stuff over on Twitch, but we'll still be keeping up with the same content here on Star Wars Explained as well. And
we still have our Clone Wars rewatch.
Yeah, we've been
watch through that we put on pause.
Big pause on that. Those will be coming back.
Those will be coming back. After that, we'll probably do the same thing for Rebels. But yeah, I think we won't have too much trouble filling the time gaps in between projects.
Also, Star Wars Visions is supposed to come out sometime this year. Again, we don't know a date on that, but that's a third series we should get in 2021, so that's exciting. That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't have your question answered here, just head over to Patreon where we left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you access to extra Star Wars Explained content like audio commentaries for the films. We did audio commentaries for all of the Mandalorian episodes, and we've been going through the Clone Wars and doing that. We're going to take a quick break on that this weekend, but they will be back soon. We'll be doing our Clone Wars rewatch again. But all of the Mandalorian episodes are available right now if you're interested.
On to YouTube questions. Hans Mark Tophole asks if the Acolyte could center around Darth Plagueis or Tenebris.
I think there's potential there. So they were saying the end of the High Republic era, and supposedly word on the street is that era ends about 50 years before the Phantom Menace. So if we're in the last 50 to 100 years of the era, I don't see why not.
Yeah, if it's not going to be a new character, I think them exploring what Plagueis was doing at this time would be really interesting.
And I like the idea of, even if it's not Tenebris, Plagueis' Legends Master, if it were Plagueis I like the idea of Plagueis as a Padawan. I think that's a cool take and something different. We don't know that the Sith Order is going to be in it at all, but it does talk about like the rise of dark powers, and I really love the idea of like a cat and mouse game between the Sith and the Jedi. They said it was going to be like a mystery thriller, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely possible we'll get characters that we know of from Legends, but if it's new characters, I'd be down with that too. I kind of hope we get to see something from Exegol maybe for that. I don't know. It's like you said, it being a mystery thriller is going to be something very new, I think, for Star Wars, and that's just really exciting.
I agree.
Chicken Fat wants to know if a Droid Story could be inspired by the 80s cartoon.
That's we're talking a lot about the upcoming series here, and yeah, a Droid Story is very just vague and ambiguous. It certainly could be.
It sounds like, well, first of all, I didn't watch the 80s Droids comic TV show. But it sounds like it might be geared towards a younger audience. It might be more of an adventure of the week kind of thing.
It's hard to say. And I do get, they didn't say this, I don't feel. They didn't say it's for a younger audience, but I still got that sense. Just a Droid Story makes you think. Yeah.
Yeah. But for those of you who do know and love the 80s Droids TV show, it would be cool if they were to take some of those stories and do like a little inspired by this kind of story.
I could certainly see them doing some references. I don't know, a Droid Story almost seems like it might be this experimental new way to experience a story on Disney Plus. Just knowing that it's like an ILM collaboration.
Is it animated?
I went ahead and pulled up the official description just because I couldn't remember what it said. As Lucasfilm continues to develop new stories, the intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. Lucasfilm Animation will be teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, Industrial Light and Magic, to develop a special Star Wars adventure for Disney Plus, A Droid Story. This epic journey will introduce us to a new hero guided by legendary duo R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Okay, so there's going to be a new hero with them.
Yeah, a new droid, I assume. And just the intersection of animation and visual effects. I'm like, I'm wondering if it's going to be like Lion King, where it's animated, but it's live action. Or like, it's animated to look live action.
I just had a really dumb idea for what this could look like. If they like took the droids and plopped them into scenes from the movies or Clone Wars.
Okay.
And then they had their own little like side story adventures.
Like, give me an example.
So, like all the stuff on Endor, they would show a scene and then pan over, and then the droids would be having their own little like side story.
Like
in Endor from Return of the Jedi.
Well, R2 and 3PO are so ingrained into those stories already.
That's my example.
Sequels, maybe.
That's my example.
I don't know. I have
Do you
no
understand
idea.
what I'm talking about?
I think so. Kind of like what the droids were up to while this other stuff was happening.
Yes.
I could see that for the sequel story because R2-D2 did not get enough screen time. So I'm down for that.
See, I Told You asks if we could see Max Rebo in the Book of Boba Fett.
We can only hope.
I mean, we love to think that he's still around.
Well, he is in the holiday special.
Yes.
He survived. If Bib Fortuna can survive the explosion of the sail barge, Max Rebo leapt to safety. He's fine. He may have needed to get a new piano, but maybe he jumped off with the whole piano.
I mean, it's exciting just to think about who we could see in the Book of Boba Fett, because there were so many characters from Jabba's palace that could still be around.
Ristal Sant was in the background of that scene, or at least another Thelan. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would love it if Max were still in Jabba's palace and just started performing for Boba Fett now. I love Max. Give me more.
Jocasta Didn't Know wants to know if John Williams could return to score some music for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm going to say no. I doubt it. He is retired from Star Wars, but he did he did the theme for Solo.
Yeah. But I feel
Solo,
like
Star Wars Story.
I feel like he made it clear that after 9 he was done.
I mean, I would never say never. Just come on, John, just do one more theme. But I don't know. I don't think you need to do that. I
feel like we should leave the man alone. Let some other people, get their hands into some Star Wars music. Ludwig is doing amazing things on The Mandalorian, so I say give some other people a chance.
I agree.
Jessica Lucia asks, Ray Sloan. That's the question.
Great question. Great point. I mean, I'm just going to dive into what I think you want to talk about. And that's, can she be live action already? Like, she's been in so many different media. She's been in books, comics, video games. Let's get her in. She's part of the Imperial Remnant. We don't know exactly how that went down. Last we saw, she was going off into the unknown regions. But I would love to see Ray Sloan in live action as we build to whatever the Mandalorian and Rangers and Ahsoka are building towards.
I was going to say, I feel like maybe Rangers of the New Republic would be a cool place for her to pop up.
I agree. So, yes, let's get Ray Sloan in there. If Cobb Vanth can do it, Ray Sloan can absolutely make the jump.
And one bonus question, Roaming Around wants to know if Biggs could cameo in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It makes sense to me.
Of course it does.
Young Biggs, but still he'd be 10, maybe a little older, 11, 12. He's
the mustache.
Still I want to see it like he's just hit puberty and it's just coming in and he thinks it's working and it probably is working.
Okay, what's he doing?
Just hanging out with Luke.
Oh, so we're going to see young Luke too.
Yes, if it means we get young Biggs, yes. I've been pretty I don't want this series to focus too hard on Luke. I just don't want Luke to be a prominent part, I believe is what I've said in the past. So if it's a little Luke, we're just checking in to see what Luke's up to, and he and Biggs are flying together down Beggar's Canyon, which they've already done in the comics.
Maybe Obi-Wan is secretly working with Biggs, and Biggs has known about Luke this entire time, and he's just been helping him.
Yes.
In various mysterious ways. And Obi-Wan and Biggs, at some point, we didn't see it in the movie, but at some point they lock eyes and they give each other the thumbs up, I got you. Luke's here, we did it.
I've got chills. That's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion and get a guaranteed written response. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And as always, thanks for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a Happy New Year.